Hari Om, Ji Hari Om, everyone. Once again, welcome back and happy Lori to everyone.
Thank you so much, Dipti ji. Wish you the same.
Thank you. May our homes be overflowing with all auspicious things through the year. So, God bless everyone. Okay, Hari Om. सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Yes, so we are seeing chapter 4 and we are on verse 18. We completed last time. It is a subtle verse, purposely kept, as acharyas would comment, in a light manner, only because as the story has gone, that Lord Ganesha agreed to write on Vyasa's request the Mahabharat, and Ganesha had said, I will write only on one condition, एक शर्त कि आप बोलना नहीं रुकेंगे. You will not stop. You will continue to say. And then Vyasa also put the condition back, agreed. But my condition is that you will not write till you understand. So in between, as light, it's just a light way of saying. But whenever Vyasa needed that little time to recollect his thoughts to present the next portion again, he would in between put these kind of subtle verses. For us, it's not this story. For us, that it is subtle is the point. Good hai ye verse. Good means gehrai hai isme. There is a lot of material in the verse. And it is not the obvious meaning that we would get. It is not the first hand reading that we understand, and that would be the meaning of the verse. It would have some layers of understanding, non-understanding that we'll have to peel away. Our immediate understanding will prove itself limited, we peel away that non understanding. What do I mean by peel away? We put it aside and look at the verse again with the help of these acharyas, the commentaries that have been written, especially Adi Shankaracharya and Madhusudan Saraswati. And if God wills, there are more commentaries, but mostly they'll be the same. But it aids in clearing our perception, our existing understanding. We all feel when we read it the first time, whatever we understand, everybody, it's a very natural, normal phenomenon. What we hear the first time and what we understand then, we think now we have understood. It's a natural process. Thereby, our inquiry stops to try and understand it again. So, this is one of those verses, 18th verse of chapter 4, is one of the verses that one keeps looking at again and again. Knowing that I have understood something, once you go over it again, you realize that there is one more layer of non understanding that got peeled away, and you've arrived at a much closer, better understanding. The grasp of the same word is better understood. I'll tell you how, in a Laukik way. If somebody goes through any emotional pain and then they say something to you, you identify, you say, ha, yes, I've understood, I understand. You are able to empathize, you are able to reach out to some extent. But if the same thing has happened to you, what the other person's narrating, as the words are spoken, your understanding of the same thing is experiential. That's what it means by here in the 18th verse of the Bhagavad Gita, that even if I have understood the first time, whatever I have understood, when I understand it again and again and again, 7, 8, 10 times, take it on an average, for any one of us to think, I wouldn't even say it's complete after that, because completion of understanding of this verse would mean I'm able to abide in Atma Vidya. Till then, this is one verse which is always going to keep unpeeling itself like layers of onion and banana peel. They will still get exhausted sometime. But this correct meaning will only be fully appreciated on Atma Vidya, because akarmani karma yaha pashyet. Whoever is seeing karma in akarma, अकर्म अकर्म में जो कर्म देखता है, that is the first part. And to quickly run over, why is this necessary for us to understand? Because as individuals, as jivas, as definition of jivatvam is deha tadatmyam. Jivatvam means deha tadatmyam. Tat atmiyam. Tat means that. Atmiyam means making it oneself. Making that as oneself or looking upon that as oneself. आत्मीयता रखना, oneness रखना. आपको किसी के साथ आत्मीयता होती है. What do you call as आत्मीय? What would be an English parallel to that word, आत्मीय? Oneness. Tat refers to what? Tat refers to the body. And body means mind, senses, thoughts, all of it. Tat Atmiyam means body is tat, that. Tat means that. That is always used in the sense of an object out of you, placing it as far, this and that. When you say that cup, that that light, that fan, that friend, that bird, this friend, this bird, this body. With reference to that, you will call this. When the body itself is called that आत्मीयम शरीर के साथ जुड़ के When the qualities of the body you take upon as yourself, Atmiya, you place the qualities of the body on yourself. That is called Tadatmyam. And who is an individual? An individual is one who has Deha Tadatmyam. So closely united it is that the qualities of the body are automatically concluded to be my qualities. Just as when you keep a blue flower in front of a colorless crystal. This is a Shastra example. When you keep a blue flower in front of a colorless crystal, what is the crystal appearing as? Blue. You will never be able to say unless until you know that the real nature of the crystal is colorless. When it has taken on the qualities just by sheer proximity, just by sheer association, just because they are so close to each other, that though absolutely different in nature and qualities, absolutely different in dharmas, the crystal dharma is very different from the flower dharma, yet the crystal takes on the color of the flower and you feel it is a blue crystal. Same way, in this tadatmyam, one feels that whatever is being executed through the body, I am doing it. In association with the body, I feel I am the one who is doing it. And it's a default thinking. We all think like that. But Shastra says that's not right. For example, when you wake up, what did you do to wake up? It's a clue. When I wake up in the morning or afternoon, what did I do? मैंने क्या किया कि जागी मैं? Did I do anything? When I go to sleep, do I do anything to go to sleep? Actually, I have to stop doing to go to sleep. Otherwise, there's no sleep. If I keep doing, I can't sleep. I have to stop everything in the mind to be able to sleep. किसने उठाया मुझे? How did I wake up? On waking up, I am a body and I am this and I am this quality and I want this and I am not happy or I am happy. I'm all that thing I have imposed on my I am this, I am that, all this I'm doing on waking up. But what woke me up? What is that which wakes me up? Shastra gives us precise knowledge. It is your own quote unquote. It is the gunas with which you are associated with. These gunas are ever in a set of motion. Kriyaman hai ye. They keep, what do we mean by motion and kriyaman? वो खुद तो कुछ नहीं करते. What it means is they're ever in a flux of change. The gunas are always in a flux of change. They are prakriti. The sattva, rajas, and tamas, the three gunas, which is prakriti, is ever in a flux of change. It cannot not change. And that change that is propelled in my waking up, according to my prarabdha, I wake up in a particular environment, in a particular body, which is conducive for this set of gunas to express themselves. That conduciveness being there, it's coming up, it's sleeping, means it goes into unmanifest, it manifests, and I am actually not doing anything in the process. ये जो कर्म हो रहा है, क्रिया हो रही है, even उठना जागना, and from there onwards take all the other kriya. Normally all of us would take action in the sense of uh, physical body related, like we said in the last class. But to explain this further or to understand it better, I'm taking the example of waking up and sleeping, because that's something we clearly see, we experience, but we are not doing anything in the process. So, with respect to waking up, in the act of waking up, I say, I woke up, but the one who knows that I am ever awake, I never sleep, I do not wake up. I am ever free of the cycle of waking and sleeping. इस कर्म में जो अकर्म को देख रहा है, यह पश्यति, who sees, pashyet here actually means you should see. So the one who sees that while this gunas are taking their action, prakriti is taking its action, it is my tadatmyam with them that I say aham karomi. And that ahankar based unison with this change of the body, change of the gunas, and ahankar, unison that I have with that, tadatmyam that I make, and make a self conclusion that I do, that ahankar based self conclusion of action upon myself, one who is free of all this, becomes the source of cycle of bondage. Because the fact is, you are not doing anything. Atma is nirvikari, akriya, changeless. It cannot have anything in the form of association with a change. It remains unassociated. It is asanga. The crystal is actually not joined to the flower. चिपका नहीं है कि उसको अलग नहीं किया जा सकता, वो हमेशा ही अलग है. The snake is not chipcode, stuck, glued to the rope, and therefore you mistake and say, oh, they are one. No, they are forever separate. One is imposed on the other. This needs reflection. The dharmas of the sharir, the one who imposes on oneself, is called a, who is going to get this answer? I'm repeating. The dharmas of the sharir, listen carefully. The dharmas of the sharir who imposes on oneself is called a
Mood.
very good.
Mood here.
Okay, mood, but more in the context.
Sansari.
Okay, very good.
Sansari.
And the word I used? You're right, otherwise, but what is the word? Jiva. Individual. I started by saying we are an individual. Why? Because we've associated with the body. That is a samsari and that is a mood is correct. But here it's more precise. You are an individual. When you impose the dharma of the body upon yourself, this is vipreet. We are already seeing it like that. So Shankaracharya in his commentary and through Purva Paksha say, because we are already seeing it like that, Shankara Bhagwan, Krishna, has to put it back again in the opposite. उसको फिर से विपरीत करते हैं so that we have a right दृष्टि. अब क्या विपरीत करते हैं? He says, इस कर्म में जो हो रहा है, when I am in tadatmyam with the body and as I am doing actions, I forever am seeing, knowing. Seeing means what? आंखों से थोड़ी देख रहा है. We are not seeing by the eyes. It's called jnana chakshu. Means you are seeing by your understanding. समझ में आ रहा है. It's the inner perception, it's knowledge. You have the knowledge firmly established that I really don't do anything because Atma doesn't do anything and I am Atma. So there is no vikar in me. Knowing this, if someone does karma, which he's going to talk about in the next verses, we'll come to that later. But this much bodies, dharmas, as they keep changing, because of association with the body, and I tell you, this is that nididhyasan. For ones who have the Shravan fairly established, this is that part of nididhyasan that people like, I can't even call them Bhagwan, like Ramana Maharishi were able to break through. वो तादात्म्य तोड़ा उन्होंने. तोड़ा means जुड़ा है ही नहीं. They could see that it is different. We can't see it is different. I can't see that the body is different from me. Why can't we see? Because one, चिपका, हमने अपने आप को चिपकाया है. We have glued ourselves to this. The minute we wake up, I am this. There is no vichar ever going in the direction of seeing them in their relative dharmas as they are. यथार्थ दृष्टि, उसकी साधन, उसको साधना बनाना, उसको डिसिप्लिन में लाना, उसका विचार करना, that the body's dharmas, do they really belong to me? The one who is able to see yaha pashyet, and there are people who have managed, it's not only Ramana is in our time. There are, we have already got examples over here. Krishna has given us of a few people who are able to clearly see yathartha as is. Once you're able to see as is, then the whole jagat is what? Swapnavat. It's happening. Ho raha hai, sab kuch ho raha hai. Nothing is going to change. But what has happened is, you who made these self conclusions which were erroneous, which were becoming the seed of becoming the bhokta, because you say I do in association with the body, you are the one who starts to nail down, means you have tied your ahankar to that set of karma and its fruit when it has to come. It's the same ahankar which will now experience जब वो फल पकेगा. कर्म का फल जब पकेगा तो यही जीव उसको भोगेगा, क्योंकि वो अहंकार ने उसको बांध दिया, कर्म को बांध दिया. The karma has got tied down by the ego. So he says, one who has this drishti, he's able to filter away. I'll use many words so that some word will click to someone and that inner perception opens. That drishti of separating out Atma, Anatma, dharma of Anatma on Anatma. ये प्रकृति है. This is not me. Why is he able to do that? Because my dharma as Atma, I am able to see. Who am I? ये जुड़े ही नहीं है. They're forever separate. That's the most liberating part. They are never one. They'll never be one. Because the whole jiva bhav is aropit. The snake bhav is aropit. It's imposed. Aropit means imposed. The entire snake notion is imposed on the rope. And there is nothing but you can just see it rightly. You cannot do any mantra, tantra. No karma can help destroy the snake. You do janma janmantara karmas. I'm doing a karma, I'm doing a yajna so that the snake gets killed. Once the snake is killed, I may be able to see the rope. You can never kill the snake by any action. As a result of which, krita kritartha bhav, that I have done what I have to do, that avastha will never come, because we in our effort are always trying to do something, change something. It is all the efforts to destroy the snake, to remove the snake, to diminish the snake. If I can't do, then let me go away from the snake. But the snake perception is a real perception. So one who sees, separates. When we say see, we should understand it as able to separate away in vichar, because the misconclusion has happened in perception. Ahankar is a perception. Ahankar is not real. Jiva is a perception, is a notion. What word would hit you? What her word would communicate to you? Perception, notion, idea. Jiva is not real. It's an idea. It's a notion. What other words can there be? Jiva is just a conclusion. It's just a false conclusion. I It's a misconclusion, erroneous conclusion. That's all. So one who's able to see where is karma and where is akarma correctly while the karmas are going on, please. ये सब प्रकृति का गुण है. I am I am not in any way associated with them. The one who's clearly able to separate out Atma as a karta, oneself as a karta, while the karma is going on. And also, because he said, I'll tell you what is karma, akarma, and vikarma, knowing which you will get moksha. And also, you should know that in this tadatmyam, once there is this oneness and I have an ahankar with which I do actions, then my not doing an action also is ahankar based, kartratantra. It is based on a karta bhav only. That akaram that I call myself thinking because I'm not doing, I will get no phal of it. That is incorrect thinking again, because that not doing and doing, this choice of action, and that's important point now. This choice of action is based on ahankar, jiva, only to a human being. It's possible. For a human being, the choice in action is available. And what are the various choices that's available? I do, I don't do, or I do it some way, other way than known way. Kartum, akartum, anyatha va kartum, shakyam. Shakyam means possible. Anyatha, any other way. Kartum means karna. Akartum, nahi karna. Anyatha, koi aur tarik. This choice is available in a jeev bhav, to a jiva. The individual has this choice to do, not to do, or to do it any other way. Because we have this choice and we don't have Atma Drishti, my conclusion that by not doing I will not get karma phal is wrong, Shastra says. By my not doing, I will still get the karma phal, because in its absence, it's not that my not doing is creating a phal, but in its absence of doing what I should be doing, I do something else, and that will give me the phal. So if you're not doing what you should be doing, what is your choice? What are you going to be doing? अगर आप नित्य नहीं कर रहे, what you should
You're
be
being anitya.
you will be doing anitya, which means what will you be doing? Not the word is
You'll be doing something which is not useful.
so. What is the word? If you don't do
Paradharma.
paradharma, okay, correct, paradharma. So if you don't do nitya, see, start tuning your mind. Nitya karam means which other? Paradharma was right. Plus
Satkaram. Satkaram is
Nityakaram is Satkaram. So if you are not doing Satkaram, Nityakaram, what will you do?
Nishkam.
No.
Anitya.
Dada, sorry?
Anitya ka.
So what is that Anityakaram?
Nishkam.
Nishkam Karam to Nityakaram hai. But you're close. I think you're mistaking the word. But what is that? What are the types of karmas?
You're doing karmas which are not dharmic.
Very good. So what are the types of karma? Nitya karma, Naimittika karma,
Nitya, Naimitya,
Naimittika, Naimittika,
Namityaka,
and Kamya karma and Nishiddha karma. So Paradharma also comes into Nishiddha karma, correct? So if you're not doing Nitya karma, जो करना चाहिए वो नहीं करे, तो ना क्या कर रहे होगे आप?
निषिद्ध कर्म.
क्योंकि जो करना चाहिए वो नहीं किया, उसका ऑपोजिट क्या है? जो नहीं करना चाहिए था वो कर दिया, तो जो नहीं करना चाहिए था, what is that? निषिद्ध कर्म. So in other words, if Shastra says you must get up, I was reminded again because today's Lori and Sankranti is coming. So we are in a great time that we are seeing some revival of our dharmas back into society. For now, at least, it's a very, very auspicious celebrating moment for this whoever believes, and I would think it's some punya that we can see the resurgence of literally dharmas coming back into life, because I, as a person, can really vouch for the change. How much one struggled to emphasize on these dharmas, and they looked so alien to people when we were teaching 20, 25 years ago, and people have blank face and they think you're talking something crazy, and all that stuff means that impossibility of old values of this and that. I know all that one has heard in the name of giving the right knowledge. Today, it's so pleasant and relaxing to know that dharmas are getting revived to some extent. Now, what is it that is to be done? So, what is that dharma? One of the dharmas says, because it's fresh, as I said, before sunrise, you're supposed to get up. If you're a Hindu, you call yourself Sanatani, or you believe in these values, your duty as a Sanatani is to get up before sunrise. Purify yourself, do your swadhyaya, do your mantra, do your japa, do your some alaukik karma. We all understand now. Engage your time in some alaukik karma. That's the whole purpose of that time, because later on Shastra allows you to sharir yatra ke liye jo karam karna hai karo. Do what you are supposed to do to survive and to live a pleasant life. But some time you have to give to your adhyatmic nature to discover who you are. And it will go in stages. It's not an overnight change that comes. So it was ingrained in the lifestyle. We lost it because for whatever reason, but you're finding some resurgence, as I said. Now, if the Shastra says you must get up before sunrise, that's a Nitya Karam. Utke apna swadhyaya karo, supposing. Now, supposing, knowing that it's winters, here at least in North, it's winters. If I don't get up, what will happen? Why can't I sleep a little more? Yesterday I had such a tough day. It's so cold. It's okay now if I don't get up. Now, what do you think you're doing? You think it is
Tamas.
okay. You think it is a karma.
You're justifying.
Later, we'll stick to the topic. Matlab, all that is correct. What are you doing? A karma. मैं नहीं कर रही, उठ नहीं रही. So when you say मैं नहीं उठ रही, नित्य कर्म क्या है? I should get up. But I decide the choice I have, and I decide that I won't get up. I'm not getting up. When I'm saying I won't get up, I feel I have done nothing. So I won't get any fruit. But what did you do? You did.
So I've also created a Nishit karma.
Yeah, exactly. You did what you should not have done. You should not have overslept. So now what is the result of oversleeping? We don't know, but we definitely know tamas increases. That much at least we know. What is adrishta phalam? We won't get it. But this is just an example to convey the point that when individual thinks I'm not doing anything and I will not get a fruit of it, I will not in मैंने कुछ किया ही नहीं तो मुझे क्यों कुछ होगा. We say that. Whole world believes that. If I have not done anything, why will I be accountable for it? Your not doing anything will make you accountable if you were supposed to do. Arjun's, what is Krishna bringing him to? He's bringing him to this discernment. It is his duty to fight this dharmic war. And he says, I don't want to fight because if I fight, I will incur papam. Krishna says, if you do not fight, you will incur papam. It will be a nishiddha karma for you. So जो इस अकर्म में कर्म को देख रहा है, who's able to see there is ahankar based kartritva choice of not doing what is my dharma to be done. It is my dharma to be done. I only am in a position nature has put me, my own prarabdha has put me. I am in that position who has to make certain decisions. There are so many patriots who give up their lives. Why? Because they were in the line of firing, but they didn't return back. Because right in front, the one he has to lay down the life. He doesn't turn back and say, no, why? My motivation would be every time I say, no, no, why get up? Let 5 minutes more. Remember that person who's sitting on that Himalayan border, the soldier there. If he can, what is a winter for you? What is a cold for you? Not that every time one is successful, but there is a pratipaksh. Idea is what? जिसको हम अकर्म समझते हैं, and उस अकर्म में we have this notion that अरे I haven't done anything so I will not get, is overlooking what I should be doing. That's where it is justification. That's where it is tamas. That's where there is lack of knowledge. That's where I'm not aware of what my duties are. And without knowing, I slip into doing what I should not do. And that's why knowledge is so important. Because if I don't know what my duties are, what happens? I will do what I'm not supposed to do. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. So what will I do? I'll do just anything that I think I should be doing. And what do you think you should be doing will all be based on your senses, your gratification, your ragadvesh. And they will all be nishid. Because Shastra's starting point is do not entertain your ragat. Karam mein apne ragdvesh ko mat lana. Especially in doing action. Don't act based on your ragadvesh. Ragadvesh को आधार बना के, the base being ragadvesh, no action should come out from you. I'm taking an idealistic standpoint. No action, when we will say, then we will end up doing less, but we will still be succumbing to it. But at least we'll save some bit, save something of ourselves. So he says, the one who is able to see, is akaram mein, my bondage is there. If I skip any duty, I think I will not get, I have escaped myself of karma. Karma for everybody is
Purifier, greatest purifier.
oh,
Greatest purifier.
that's right. But from a normal standpoint, karma for everyone is. Do we like to do karma?
Dukkha Karan.
Dukkha karan, correct. For now, normally people would say it is dukkha karan. It is strenuous. So we try to avoid, simplify, try to take the easy way, try to skip what we need to do because it is tiring, it's exhausting, it etc. etc. But if what you are trying to avoid is a part of what you ought to be doing, is your duty, then do not think that you have not incurred the fruit. It still comes to you. And that is what is, he says, who is a buddhiman? He says, the one who knows clearly what that in this jiva ahankar based choice taken of not doing what I should be doing, Arjun takes the choice of not fighting the war. Krishna knows this is a source of his patan. He will fall from his not only glory, he will fall into a lower realm of his own existence by avoiding a dharmic karma as important as that to reinstate dharma in the society. It's a fantastic, if any one of you can grab the magnanimity or the, what is that, the encompassing or the pervading effect of dharmic karma that one has to do, you will realize not doing it will have as much repercussions. So if our dharma is centered on two people in our family, but if one is a ruler and his dharma is centered around 1 billion people and he errs there, what is the fruit of that action? Compared to one who had a duty for two people and we err there, dukkha source banta hai. And that is why he says, tells Krishna and tells Arjun all over again. Through these verses, he's glorifying. When I tell you about karma, akarma, and vikarma, and what is vikarma? Hmm? Viparita karma. So akarma is just not doing, and viparit means I do it anyatha way. कुछ और ही कर दिया. Hmm? अपने राग द्वेष बेस पे I did something else. So in all these ways, he says you won't get, but when you know this, now that is why that bodhavyam word, when you know what is akarta, and when you know that in this karma, akarma also there is karma, let me not fall into akarma or viparita karma. Let me do however difficult it is. As a human being, I have no choice. Actually, there I am choice. I should be choice. Excuse me. I should be choiceless. Nitya karam should be choiceless. My choice should be in everything else. How I dress, how I eat, where I live, what I do. All this can be choice based on your ragadvesh. They're allowed. I like spicy food or I don't like spicy food. Kahin nahi likha you should not eat this or that. Yeah, execute your choice based on your ragdvesh. Based on your gunas, you can eat what is comfortable to you. But based on your nitya karam, no. Is this clear so far? I think it should be very, very clear now. Fairly clear, at
Actually,
least I'm
one
hoping.
quick clarification I wanted to ask you. Dikshiji, in a ashram, right, you have some duties, right? But if you give Nitya Karam more importance than those duties, will it also have the same impact? So suppose I was supposed to go to a family function, but instead of going there, I chose to do Gita Paran. Suppose I'm just giving you an example. Will it still apply to that too?
Will what apply?
As in, am I going against my
Means am I falling into a dharma or not doing my duty, right?
G?
Huh. Um, in grahas, these are such choices are, what is the right word? Are um, to be maneuvered. The right word is maneuver them, but they're relative. There are a lot of situations, or if you have people around you who appreciate, who understand, or so there's so many gradations and factors that can determine what can be your avoiding a family function for this particular reason. So there is a discernment that has to be kept in mind, the overall environment in which you are, and you have to place your karma in accordance to that, uh, for that time, the expectation out of you also, if it falls as a part of your duty. It could be a very, so one of the varying factors could be it is some far off function that I can avoid. Another varying factor is it a close one whose function it is obligatory for your presence to be there, things like that. So in such situations you can't make a black and white rule like that. The rule will always be black and white rule is what? If you stick to doing your nitya karam, you know, nothing can ever go wrong. That is a fundamental dharma that you have to abide in. These are your naimittika karmas, occasional duties to be done. Naimittika means something occasional that has to be done. If it is a part of something you can maneuver, always maneuver. There is no reason not to have your capacity to maneuver and avoid things that can be dealt with by your absence in those things. There's no obligation there. But there are things that only individually your setup can know if it is or not. Is that clear?
जी तो नित्य कर्म में ये अप्लाई नहीं होगा राइट दीप्ति जी लाइक धर्म मतलब you will if you're doing it it will always be right isn't it
Huh.
अगर आप धर्म कर रहे
Yes,
हो and
yes,
you're doing it
always
right
right. If your perception, if you are doing it for the right purpose, it will always be right. And even if you have, there's no need for even. Whatever the result comes, you will then have to accept the result. But it can never go against. But the result may not be the way you think it is. Means it may come with people not appreciating, etc. So that'll be also be a part of your own result that you have.
धन्यवाद दीप्ति जी very much
Clear, no?
जी
Some example of a nitya karam of which phal is not mentioned in Shruti, as mentioned in the Bhashyam. Um, Nitya karam by themselves, there are two pakshas, two, two views, and it gets confused if we do not make the 2 points, two stands clear. There is a Purva Paksha who says there is no phal to Nitya Karam. That's a Mimamsaka, Purva Mimamsaka. They say there is no phal to Nitya Karam, and not doing your Nitya Karam brings Pratishiddha Karam, your Pratyavaya Karam. Sorry, not Pratishid, Pratyavaya Karam. Pratyavaya phal. Because of the Pratyavaya phal, you should do your karma. Not doing it gives you pratyavaya. But doing it has no phal. This is what Purva Paksha says. What Shankaracharya in the Bhashyam says and the Vedantin standpoint, the Advaitin standpoint is Nitya Karam has a phal. And the phal is Chitta Shuddhi. And it is a very important phal because without Chitta Shuddhi, you obviously cannot get Adhikaratvam for moksha, gyan. So, Nitya Karam, done as how it is to be done, will give you Chitta Shuddhi. And how is it to be done? That we know. Karam Yoga. So, any karma can become Nitya Karma from that standpoint, which means your alaukik karmas can also be Nitya Karmas if done as Karam Yoga and, sorry, Laukik Karmas. The Laukik karmas can also become Nitya karmas if done as Karma Yoga. And Alaukik karmas are Nitya karmas which are directly related to Ishvara. Alaukik Vastu, which is Japa and Dhyanam and puja and offering and seva, and where Ishvara is a direct component. You are offering your action to Ishvara in a physical form or in a mind, but the object of that action is Ishvara directly. In Laukik Karma, the object of your action is not Ishvara. In Laukik Karma, the object of your action is you're doing what you're supposed to do, but you're offering it to Ishvara. So that's the two difference. Is that okay, Vani? And no, if you do not, the question is if I don't fully understand my nature as Atma and I do action out of a feeling of duty. I'm repeating the question because this could be probably everyone's question also. Would it not come under ahankar? Would it not come from ahankar? I'm repeating. If I haven't fully understood my nature as Atma and I do action out of a feeling of duty, would it not come from ahankar? If you are doing it because you think it is your duty, the definition of duty that we are defining through Shastra Vidya is what Shastra says is your duty. And that is why the Varna Ashram was very, very helpful in defining those dharmas. Dharmas means duties here, because it's Shastra that tells us this is your duty. And that duty is not Ahankar based then. So if I don't have my Varna and Ashram based knowledge, then we have substituted it for now to say what are my roles. In my roles, whatever I understand as Shastra telling me to do, or as best as I think I can, and I offer it back. That this is for Ishwar, ultimately my capacity in the best way that I can do, my contribution to his Srishti, that then frees me from ahankar. Karma Yoga frees me from ahankar gradually. So duty is the only way you can free yourself from ahankar. And based on Varnashram, it's direct path. But since we don't have that knowledge of our karmas in the present, or those who don't have, hopefully by next generation there could be more revival and hopefully they will have better knowledge of what their karmas are. It may be easier path for them to abide or not to avoid will still be a choice, but it'll be more clearer. But in the lack of that clarity doesn't mean that it's door closed for everybody. We still have the basic formula and the basic principle. Formula means the basic principle, and the basic principle is karma yoga. Is that clear? Is that clear to everyone?
Ji.
Okay. So now we move forward. Next verse. Now he says, I think those who know, what did he conclude as? Buddhiman Manushya. He is a yuktaha, means he has become yuktaha to his own Atma Swabhav, Akarta. It's a steady light, knowledge within himself. I'm Atma, Yuktevo. And whatever the human body has to achieve, why you have got a human body in the first place, for what prayojan is this human body? He has achieved that prayojan, which is only in a human body can you get moksha. So he has already, by Atma Vidya, accomplished that prayojan, that purpose of human birth, body that he finds himself in. So he says, perception is complete now. As far as Krishna is concerned, he has already told Arjun again, I would say, that your sense of a karma has karma in it. Therefore, fight your war. But to glorify Atmadarshi, one who is able to make this distinction of karma in a karma and a karma in karma. The one who is able to make that separation, Krishna glorifies it in 19th verse onwards till 24th verse. This Jnani is stuti ki hai. The word is stuyate, is done glorification. Stuti always means you magnify the right so that it comes to attention to someone. What are all the similes and metaphors like? Oh, she's beautiful like a moon. I don't know if this is the right thing, but I guess she's beautiful like a moon. So there's a joke that go, oh, does she have craters also then on her face? Something like that. That's a joke. Beautiful like a moon. Now, when you say she's beautiful, it doesn't mean you have to take it literally. And that's why those who will take it literally will say, are there craters also on the face? You know, beautiful like a moon is glorification. That चेहरे पे इतना शांत है, चेहरे पे इतना अम, चम चमक है, नूर है, whatever you want to call it. हाँ. You know, it's a glorification to draw the attention, not direct, but to convey the sense of beauty that the poet feels. In the same way, stuyate means the Atma Jnani is got stuti now in these verses. So we'll start with the 19th verse. Can one of you chant? Yeah.
Can I try?
Ji. Please. Just taking a breath. It'll help me.
Yasya sarve samarambhaha काम संकल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञान sorry
No, it's okay.
there's a little difficult
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम् ज्ञानाग्नि दग्धकर्माणम्
तमाहुः पंडितं बुधाः.
Once more.
यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः काम संकल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम् तमाहुः पंडितं बुधाः.
We should start our chanting again, no? You'll follow? I'll chant. Yasya sarve samarambhaha
यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः
kama sankalpavarjitaha
काम संकल्पवर्जिताः
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम्
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम्
Jnanagni, this is Agni. Jnana Agni. So Jnanagni Dagdha Karmanam.
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणम्.
The has to merge with Gyan, so you don't have to chant it separately. I just said it so you understand the word. Jnanagni. Jnanagni. So So
Jnanagni.
So it is Gna, Na, G, and Ni. Jnanagni-dagdha-karmanam.
Jnanagni-karmanam.
Dagdha-karmanam.
Dagda-karmanam.
Tamahuh panditam buddhaha.
Tamahuh panditam buddhaha.
Right. Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni-dagdha karmanam tamahuh panditam buddhaha.
Yasya sarve samarambaha kam sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni-dagda karmanam tamahuh panditam buddhaha.
Yes, good. Just that kama and not kam.
Little more practice.
Kama. Just that remembering. So now, as we said, he is glorifying the one who has this vision separately, clearly, of seeing the Atma as a karta while the body is in action. That means his jiva bhav has got corrected. There is no jiva feeling, there is no ahankar, but the body can act. Body is put into action, and he knows Atma is akarta. And obviously, that akarma, he sees jivas who fall into akarma. This, this is also karma. Such a one. He says, Yasya sarve sama arambhaha. Arambhaha. Arambh. Beginning. Samarambh means starting, initiating, beginning. Also another word for karma, because karma has a beginning. So whatever has a beginning, what has a beginning? Karma has a beginning. Karma is not eternal. Sarve samarambhaha. Sarve means all. All beginnings, all karmas. Yasya, whose, जिसका, जिसके सब कर्म, whose all karmas are what? Varjitaha. Varjit hai, free of, devoid of. Devoid of what? Kama. And devoid of sankalpa. Whose all karmas are devoid of, are free of Kam and Sankalp. How did that happen? We'll stop here for a moment. Can we even perceive this? कैसे किसी के कर्म बिना काम के और संकल्प के होते हैं? How does anybody act without a desire to act, or some fruit, or some motivation? Something has to be there for them to act. How does anybody act without that? It is possible only when the karmas have been burnt in the fire of knowledge. Jnana Agni, fire of knowledge. Dagdha, Dagdha means burnt. Jal gaye. What? Karmanam, कर्मों का, जिसके सब करम जल गए. जिसके, it's referring to that yasya. It's referring to a person whose all karmas have been burnt by the fire of knowledge. Tam, him, that, कहते हैं, आहुहु, they call him, call such a one, panditam, they, tam, yasya, tam, that person, ahuhu is called what? Panditam. He is a pandit. By whom? Buddhaha, the ones who know. Those who know. Who are these people? They know the Shastra, they know the discrimination, they know the right knowledge. Those who know, they call such a person who's can do the work, does the work, engages or is seeming to engage by the other people, is seen by other people doing work, but himself is free of desire and sankalp. What is sankalp and desire? We saw one of the verses before. In chapter 2, anybody remembers? Can you make a connection? How is a desire formed? Chapter 2. How is a desire formed? These I'm repeating so that they get stuck, so that they are important peg marks in the Shastra Vidya. Chapter 2. How is a desire formed? Very famous. You've all heard it many times.
Adhyaya Vishayam.
Very good. Very, very good. Thank you so much. It's the greatest joy. Thank you. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. What really happens there we saw? Just a thought by repeated thinking. Just a thought and you indulge in it. Here he says that apurna bhav that each one has, उससे थोड़ा सा उठता है. There is a rise of a thought, and that thought is, if I do this, I impose a happiness on it. That definite pursuit of it is called sankalp, and pursuing it will be based on that sankalp, desire. So we have a lot of thoughts, lot of ideas. Supposing somebody is a young person and they want to start a career. When they start a career, what are their options? I can do this, I can do this. What is that called? Career
Career counseling, career options.
Career options, and there's a
career path.
Career path. So you have a lot of options in front of you. I can do this, I can do that. They're all based on what? They're all based on your own knowledge of what you are, what you want, and also what you think is capable within your capacity to pursue. Now, I may have a thought of becoming an astronaut. Also, I want to be an astronaut. I want to see Earth from moon. I really want to see Earth from moon. But it's only a thought. I have another thought. I want to mountaineer. I want to climb a peak. Another thought. Is it in my capacity? That thoughts that come in our mind based on the notion that I feel unfulfilled and I want to do something, hoping that when I do that, accomplish that, it will give me the fruit of becoming full. पूर्णता जनित करेगा वो मुझ में, आनंद जनित करेगा. I see that accomplishment adding value to me. Out of all those thoughts, when I pick up that which I will pursue, that is called sankalp. And that sankalp will now direct me to its object of fructification. And that is development of desire. Based on that action, samarambhaha, all our undertakings are like this. Whatever we do is based on this. I'll probably go a little more tomorrow, once again, more fresher. We'll conclude soon here. But this is us in avidya. Where are we starting from? Jiva notion. Already we have seen Jiva is a false notion. And that false notion concludes I'm ever unfulfilled. And whatever I have is never enough. And I want more. I have a lot, but somehow that missing factor is what is the cause of my unfulfillment and unhappiness. So I must pursue it to get it. That is us. Then we have certain sankalpas. I'll do this. I won't do that. That firm decision of a path that I will undertake with the hope that all those set of actions that I generate in that direction will give me fulfillment ultimately. That is kama sankalpa saktaha, attached to kama and sankalpa. Why? Because jnana agni is not lighted. There is no fire of knowledge in us. There's no fire of vivek. When we say no means obviously, again, if you do glorification of a particular quality, then you also do ninda of the opposite, which means you look down further upon so that the contrast is evident. So when we say there is no fire of knowledge, doesn't mean literally no fire of knowledge. It's a ninda done only to highlight the difference of stuti and the disparity between the two states. No knowledge means no viveka shakti. What is the vivek that is absent in this case? That any karma, when I do, that karma, akarma, I don't have vision of. I am akarma always. I am akarta. So whatever karma I undertake, how can it fulfill me? I'm never not fulfilled in the first place. I'm ever fulfilled is direct way of putting it. I'm ever fulfilled. बट ये तो खाली हम सुनते हैं, हम जानते नहीं हैं. हम सुनते हैं शास्त्र से कि हम ever fulfilled है. I am Atma, you are Atma. Shastra tells us we are always listening to this. But we don't know this. हम सुनते हैं, जानते नहीं हैं. So, there is no knowledge. That fire means discernment. There is no discernment of, is this action really contributing to my happiness? Is that happiness ever going to come as a result of a fruit? कर्म फल से क्या कोई आनंद जनित हो सकता है? Common question, common sense question. What is that common sense question? There are some people who will only understand English, so I'm trying to keep it balanced, though this is really communicable only in Hindi. कर्म फल से क्या आनंद जनित हो सकता है? Period. आनंद क्या कर्म फल से जनित होता है? Can happiness be a product of, a result of action? Common sense. I'm repeating the question. Can happiness be the end of an action? Can it be produced? Janat hota means, can happiness be produced through an action? What do I want? Why am I doing that action? Because I think it will fulfill me. I think it should give me what I want. But take the Viveka Shakti with you. Think. Think for a moment before you jump into it and ask, the reason why am I doing it, is it certain a result of that action? Is there an equation between the two? Is there a direct relation between the two? This action that I do, if I say I want to become an astronaut, by being an astronaut, is happiness generated? It's my goal, and if I achieve it, I feel happy. You would say, yes, I agreed. But is happiness generated through the completion of that? What is generating happiness? If we depend upon limited ends, there are values that generate happiness, yes, but it is not actually generating happiness. That's only a way of consoling ourselves. Happiness
It actually leaves you craving for more.
exactly. It'll leave you craving for more. Happiness is cannot be generated because happiness is there. Then why am I not feeling it? Because, very simple example I'll tell you. There is sunlight, bright. But what have you done? You have sunblock curtains. First, you have those transparent ones, then you have sunblock on it. How much light is there? Sun is there in the room then? Virtually very little. From hole somewhere it will come. Now, what you have done is you've gone into your bed and you've got a quilt over you. Now, what has happened to the sunlight? What happened? There is darkness. Absolute opposite experience. Now, if you want sunlight, what do you do first? Get out of the quilt, remove the quilt. I'll get some light I can see. Remove one layer of curtain, remove the second layer of curtain. I didn't generate sunlight. But where was I helpful to myself? I was helpful to myself by removing the layers that I have added to myself. And those layers are of what? Can anybody tell me, even one or two? What are those layers that we add in avidya on ourselves, which seem to cover up or block or shade our happiness, existent happiness? My question?
Layers of desires.
Excellent. Layers of desires, very good. Add another one.
Of expectations.
Excellent. Expectations, more. So every time you add, start saying first curtain, second curtain, third curtain. What more?
Ragdvesh.
Ragadvesh. Excellent. These are the ones that are blocking the Anand. And why do we have all of this? Simple. Agyana. Jnana Agni, not there. I don't have the light of knowledge. That light of knowledge can only be triggered by Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. What I hear, I must reflect. And what I reflect, I must own up. I must call that knowledge mine. I should be able to say, yes, I know, I understand, I know. And therefore, this verse is talking about Kama Sankalpa Varjitaha, is talking about that Jnani who has Atma Vidya, whose entire karma is burned in the light of knowledge because his Jiva Bhav is already corrected. Snake drishti chali gayi. Snake tha hi nahi to. There is no snake there. That vision is gone. Once that snake is gone, he is still seen to be acting. All these questions will come in the following verses. But he is the one who has freed himself from this. Okay, I think we'll end here. We'll continue tomorrow.
Should I chant, Deepti?
Thank you.
Is it there?
Please.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखात् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं शोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Thank you. Just one word. Dukkha, not dukh. That's Hindi. So dukkha bhag bhavet.
Oh. Sometimes
Morning
it becomes
stuff.
very.
I know. Yeah, it just needs repetition. That's all. You know it. But, so thank you, everyone.
Hari Om Deepti ji, thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Hari Om, everyone.